Hey guys, this is Lola, but you can call me Lola if you like.
Hi, this is Velisa, and you can call me Vels if you want. And this is the Everybody Hates HR podcast, episode 98.
We're so close to
Almost there.
100.
Almost there.
We're getting there. So I want to do something a bit different today.
Okay.
I feel like we've been on this journey with the podcast. Like I feel like you guys, you know, our listeners, you know us. But I feel like it's important that like we show all the different sides of like us and like the lows as well as the highs. And like I know you've had some stuff going on, and I've also had a lot going on. So I just thought it'd be good to share that. So I want to talk a little bit about just how I've been working and basically struggling with basically burnout. And I know there's some stuff that you want to talk about as well.
Yeah, I got a new job.
Woo!
I got a new job. So I just want to talk about what it was like going through the job search in this current climate, because it was hell. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I keep saying, every time someone asks me, I tell them that the market is bad. And I don't think people understand what I mean when I say the market is bad for all sorts of industries. I think unless you're a specialist, and you are a specialist, so whatever it was like for you, it was probably worse for other people who are like generalists in the kind of fields that they work in. Yeah, so it's really a bad market. So yeah.
Honestly, the job market, it shocked me.
It shocked me.
It was so shocking because I'm somebody where like if I want a new job, I get up and just get one. I'm like, maybe it's to my delusions, but I've never struggled to get a job. So within like 4 weeks, I would be on the verge, if not have a job offer, usually when I look for jobs. Yeah. I started this job search in July, and I got the job offer that I wanted in October. Yeah, October. It wasn't my first job offer, but it was the one I wanted. And
Sorry, I was going to do a definition now. So it's my phone. I'm on the definition page. Sorry.
And yeah, like the job market really showed me pepper in terms of like just seeing how many people were looking for jobs. Like LinkedIn really created a level of anxiety in me that I hadn't felt before when looking for a job, because every time I went on LinkedIn, everyone was open to work. Everybody was looking for a job. And again, the shame in me would never let me put up the open to work banner. So I'm just looking, and it's exhausting. Like looking for a job is a full-time job.
It is.
You're literally interviewing, you're speaking to recruiters, the amount of ghosting that happened to me. You recruiters that ghosted me, like, I'm just like, you've approached me, you've contacted me, and now you're ghosting me. Like, are you okay? No, you're not. Like, it was, and it can have such a strong emotional effect on you. Like, if you don't believe in, you start thinking it's you. And let me tell you, anybody looking for a job right now, it's not you. It might be you, but for the majority of you, it's not you. It's genuinely not you. Like the job market is crazy, and I feel like even the companies that are looking for people, genuinely looking for people, are even struggling with picking candidates because there's so many. So it's like that's another thing is when I got to a lot of final stages with different companies, and when you get to a final stage and then you don't get it, especially me, like I'm a black woman, so the first thing I'm going to think is, was that a factor? Like, was me being a black woman a factor against someone who clearly has the same skill set as me? Like, what was the what was the deciding factor if we've both got to the final stage, which means that I can do the job, you can do the job. So what was the definitive thing that made you go with that person? And that bugged me. Yeah. Because I kept getting to final stages, which means that I'm not going to lie, I interview him, like, I want to say if anyone wants to be coached, but I'm not going to do it. But listen, I'm amazing. I cannot lie.
You shoot, you score usually.
Yeah. I cannot lie. Like I'm sick at interviewing, and so it bugged me that like I was going really far in these interview processes and then not getting it. But I had to just remind myself, do you know what? You can do it clearly. And then, sorry, I'm talking a lot, but another thing was obviously coming from Meta. And then now I can say the other company I worked at because I'm not there anymore. And then from Meta, I went to Workday. And having two big like tech companies on your CV, I'm not going to lie, I think that's what saved me in this climate. I genuinely think so, because I felt like a lot of my interviews, people just wanted to know what it was like to work there rather than what my skill set was. Yeah. Because at that point, if I was at Meta for 4 years and then Workday for 2, so it was like, okay, she can do the job. If she's been at these big companies looking after all of these employees, she can do it. So a lot of it was, oh, what was it like at Meta?
Yeah.
Wow, Workday, what was that like? That was more of the sort of conversations. And I had this conversation with you at the time when I was going through it, and we spoke about a theory called pet to threat.
Yeah.
And pet to threat is the theory of Black women coming into a workplace, coming into a work environment as someone green, junior, not really knowing what they're doing yet, still finding their feet. And then a white woman takes them on to basically mold them into the professional that they want to be. But then as soon as the Black woman finds her feet and, you know, is more confident, is more firm, more assertive in what she's doing and understanding more what she's doing, she goes from being the pet to the threat. And I felt, and I said this to you, and this is me being so open and honest, I felt like a lot of the interviews that I had, the roadblock that I felt like I was constantly meeting was a white woman in the interview process, because everything would always go well until I met the final boss.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? I was like, Velisa, remember? Yeah. We had this conversation. And obviously it's not all white women or whatever, but just from your personal experience, being like, oh, why is it whenever I kind of meet a white woman in the process? Because when you were dealing with like men or people of color, you felt like maybe there was more of an, I don't know, affinity there. I don't know, or at least they felt that. And I didn't even really know this pet to threat thing, but then you had mentioned it to me, and I looked it up, and I was like, oh, like I get it as a concept. I just remember, like when you were going through as you were going through this process, I was just like, I don't want you to forget who you are. And I just remember I kept saying to you, like, you are you, one of one. Do you get what I mean? Like, you can obviously do the job because that's why you're getting to the final stages, and it's just not for you. And obviously you end up in the job, like, which is, I think, of all the jobs, like the absolute one for you, perfect manager for you, perfect environment for you, all of that kind of stuff. But I think like you're someone who has had relative success in your career, and you know that you're good at your job. So if it can start to have an effect on you, where you're starting to think, what's going on here? If I just feel like, imagine what it could have on other people who maybe already are not approaching it from such a place of confidence.
100%, exactly that. And just a caveat, like not all white women are, you know, out to get me, or I don't feel that way, but it just brought that pet to threat theory to mind when I was going through it, because it did feel like a bit of a thing. But I met some really nice white women during the interview processes. But yeah, it just, you do get on the verge of like forgetting who you are. And one thing as well that I realised is...
sorry, is this cold or hot?
I think it's cold. I don't want to stop the... I can turn it off because the other one's on.
So it works, it's just...
doing its own thing. Yeah, one thing that I realised as well while looking for a job is you kind of have to remember how much you have achieved as well. And every interview felt like practice. So I hadn't interviewed for like over 2 years, so like a long time. And so when I went for my first interview, I was kind of like just getting my feet wet. And then like some I didn't even want, but I just wanted to, you know, just go through the process and And by the time I was getting closer to getting a job, I just felt really, my confidence started to come back up. Because I was like, yeah, no, it's not me. It's definitely the market. Like, this market is crazy. And the other thing was that I found was salaries. So obviously I've mentioned now that I was at Workday, and before that I was at Meta. These people, they pay you well. Nobody in these companies are poor. Like, nobody's struggling. No, honestly, if anyone tells you they don't have money, they're lying. They have money.
It's a lifestyle issue.
So I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna stay in tech or if I'm gonna move. I'm unsure. But as the the process of me looking for a job went on, I was like, I can't leave tech. Like,
the salaries are not.
Like, there was I won't say the name.
I know the name.
But there was a pharmaceutical company, and they
use your imagination. It's not that hard.
Yeah, a big pharmaceutical company, and they had an ER role, and it was to manage like 13 people across EMEA, look after EMEA, like complex EMEA cases in all these different jurisdictions. So I was like, okay, like, I can do this. That this is a role I can do. And then so I had a first like conversation with the recruiter, and they said that the salary banding for this role was 65 up to 65k. I said, 65k to manage 11 people across EMEA. Like, what?
That's crazy.
And sorry, if just for listeners, EMEA is Europe, the Middle East, Africa, basically. Yeah. So that's across those jurisdictions, 65k. And I was honestly, I was shocked.
No, you weren't. I don't think shocked is the right word. I think it was more disgusted. You were disgusted because when you told me you were disgusted,
I was, because I felt offended because that's a lot of work for 65k. And I started thinking, so what's the manager on? What would that person's manager be on if that person's only on 65k for doing all that work?
It's too much work in general, I think. Just managing that many people would.
And it's the fact that it was at a massive company. Like, if it was another company that said that, it might still disgust me, but I'd have more understanding. But this is a multi-billion pound company that said 65k. So I started to get scared. I was like, oh my God, like, I can't. Like,
no.
I can't.
I remember I had to say that's not normal.
Yeah, like, I was like, no. And that meant that, okay, it was either going to be tech or financial services that I would end up in, because those were the only two industries that I was coming across where the salaries were doable, and it was more what I was used to in terms of, like, you know, bonuses and stock and all of that stuff. But then that started to become and I've said it before on the pod, like, what will I do if I want to leave tech? Because, like, the salaries are not the same. Like, you can be on I'm not saying this is me, I don't want anyone to speculate, but in tech you can have the same salary as a director at another company somewhere else. Like, it's just so that was, I had to start thinking, what is my minimum that I would go for, and what would be my max that, you know, I think I could find. And honestly, it was really hard to find salaries that made sense and also aligned with the role that I would be doing. But with that being said, and now because we've giggled on it on a different episode, I did get an offer from, you know, an app. Some people might call it the Clock app.
The Clock app.
I don't know. So yeah, I did get an offer from that company.
Let me sit up.
And it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money, and it had a good bonus, everything. Lola said she would have taken it.
No.
Yes, she did.
I did say I would have taken it, but the context here, right? I said, to be honest, Velisa wasn't excited by the role. So that's the first thing.
I wasn't. I love the Clock app, but I don't think I want to work.
Yeah, to be honest, I've heard working anyway. let's not ruin things for ourselves. So Velisa was like, I don't want to work there because of how they've managed this offer process.
Yeah. And sorry, I will be open about this. I had 6 interviews for this company.
Yeah.
6. Yeah. No, one of them didn't even turn up the first time, and it had to be rescheduled. Like, they forgot 6. Then what happened was they liked me. They had no bad feedback about me, but didn't actually offer me the role at first. And then I basically asked for a subject data access request to find out more because it didn't make sense. 6 interviews and there was no real reason. The feedback just didn't have anything to say. And this, again, I knew I didn't want it, but I just wanted
to know. Yeah,
I just wanted to know.
You spent time on it.
And then after like a week or so, they actually came back to say there was another headcount and they wanted to offer me the role. So because of that, that's the context Lola's talking about.
That's not the context.
Oh, what context are you talking about?
So they had reposted the role.
Oh, yeah.
They had reposted.
They said that was automatic.
Yeah.
That's what they're claiming.
So, they put the role up because obviously they got the extra headcount. They put the role up. And then they put the role up, but then they came back to Velisa and said, or something happened. There was some sort of communication.
Yeah, remember, I had...
Okay, no, sorry. So they put the role back up. Remember that Velisa has moved on, yeah? She's in other processes. She doesn't want this job. So she moves on. They repost the role online. Velisa's like, what? How did they repost the role? Velisa had already told them that she's probably going to move forward with another job, so they should leave her alone in it.
Yeah.
So
that's the context
the context that's missing. She said, look, I'm not interested. She had told them, I'm not interested anymore, or I'm probably going to go forward with this next opportunity. So obviously when the new headcount comes up, they don't come back to Velisa because Velisa already told them that she's not interested. So then when they repost the role now, Velisa, I don't know, you said something to the recruiter or something happened.
Yeah.
And maybe that's where you put your DSAR in. Anyway, either way, the recruiters contacted Velisa for some reason, I can't remember why. And then Velisa said, oh, actually, I could still be interested. I don't think you're really interested, but you just want to know if you're going to get the job because you're annoying. You're annoying. And so then they're like, oh my God, you're still interested. Oh my God, we're going to give you the role. Yeah. Like, we're going to offer you. Then, so they give Velisa this big fat offer for this job. Yeah. And when they didn't offer the first time, they did say it was very close. It was out of 2. If there was another role, they would have easily given it to her. So then they give Velisa this offer and Velisa's telling me I'm not going to take it because I didn't like the fact that they reposted it online before they spoke to me. I said, you told them that you didn't want the job. Why would they come back to you? And then Velisa's like, no, I just don't feel very respected now. And I'm just like, but you told them you didn't want the role. So now Velisa's in her feelings about something that's ridiculous. So I said to her, I was like, if it were me, like obviously the process has been chaotic. I said, if I wanted the job, the fact how this offering and stuff has happened, it wouldn't bother me because I don't mind being a silver medalist. If I'm the person who didn't get the job the first time and you really think like I was the second person and you think I'm still good, but I just didn't hit out of the 2, I wasn't the stronger candidate, I would still go for the job. If you don't want the job or you're not interested, that's different, but don't let this be the reason. And then she gave me the numbers. I said, no, I'll take the job. I said, that's bad. I said, obviously, if you're not interested, then don't take a job they're not interested in. But for the sake of the admin and they're not being offered the job the first time and all this other kind of stuff, that genuinely wouldn't bother me. And especially wouldn't bother me if they put their money where their mouth is. And they really put their money where their mouth was. So I said that. I was like, that kind of stuff won't bother me. Like, I won't get hung up on. It's like that. I wouldn't get hung up on the fact that I didn't get a job the first time. Remember, I told you when I went to Deloitte, I applied the year before. I didn't get the job. And then I applied again and I got the job. I'm not going to be like, oh, you didn't offer me the first time, I'm not going to take the job. I just thought it would be a good opportunity for me, so I took it. I'm just not like that. But Velisa has, Velisa's a lot more prideful than I am.
I am sometimes to my own detriment. So yeah, I didn't take it, but I left.
But you didn't want it anyway.
I didn't want it. I left them hanging for a little bit, knowing that I was not. By that point, I had the job.
That's you're such a menace.
By that point, I had the job offer from where I've decided to go, but I just left them hanging just because I could. So yeah, so then I have a job now. Still ER senior role. I found out the other day that it's one below director. I said, please.
You don't want it.
But yeah, it's still tech. So I stayed in tech. Mm-hmm. Love it. I love that my onboarding is in New York. I love that for me. And this is why I love tech, because of stuff like that. But yeah, I will never say on the pod, obviously, where I work
until she's left.
Until I've left, like I did. So now I can say that, yes, Workday was where I was. And do you know what? Workday is a good company. I will say for a tech company, it feels very corporate in terms of what people think tech is. Mm-hmm. Like Meta is very much Disneyland. Mm-hmm. And Workday is very much more what you think corporate is like. It's just that the benefits are really, really good. Like much more similar to the tech financial services that people expect. But they're very flexible, like very family friendly and all of that. I won't say anything else on them.
Not for now.
And I look forward to, you know, the new job role. I'm glad that I don't have to look for a job, because that market is honestly, it's so disheartening. That's the word for it. It's disheartening, that job market. But obviously, like, I have great skill set and I'm an amazing person. So
yeah,
that's why
these are all facts.
Yeah, that's why I got a job. So yeah, I wish I could help more people though. Like going through the interview process and what it was like for me. And do you know what? Recently, one of my friends went for a job interview and I was helping him. I was like, do you know what? I'd be so good at this, like interview coaching. I just don't have the capacity. But honestly, like, I'm sick.
I agree.
Yeah, but yeah, it was tough, you know. Like some days I didn't want to come and record the pod, you know, because
there was some times where you got there was one episode, I can't remember, you got news just before, you got some bad news just before the pod, and then we just have to lights camera action it, boy. Yeah,
because I knew I needed to like. So another thing, and it's like a segue into yours. When I was at Workday, I was so burnt out. Like I was doing a lot of work. My first year I had EMEA and APAC, which I think I mentioned, and it was good to be exposed to APAC. APAC is Asia and Australia, like all of that stuff. Yeah, so it was good, but it was also my first job after having my son, so it was a lot to do that. And I was the only ER specialist there for EMEA, so a lot fell on me. If I was on holiday, you know, like usually you'd have someone who can cover you. There wasn't anyone really covering me. Like I would come back and
stuck off.
Yeah, like it was weird. And I felt like towards the end of my time at Workday, I wasn't really seeing my son as much as I used to, because I was working so much. I was taking like meetings and the type of ER I was doing was becoming very, very heavy all the time. And it was having a real impact on me. And I just felt like no one ever said, are you okay? Do you know what I mean? So it was just, I felt burnt out. So like I was able to take some time off before this job. And honestly, it did me the world of good. Like I feel so much happier. And I think people can actually see it on my face and on my body that I feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll revisit this in like 6 months time. But for now, like, it's
hopefully it just goes from strength to strength.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been fighting for my life, right? So I just recently came back from holiday. So I went away for maybe 10 days, and sometimes I knew I was tired before I went. I called Velisa actually before I went and I said, look, I'm not in a good way. I need this time off. And before actually I'd gone, Velisa went on holiday. She came back. She had a day before I went. So we had a day crossover. And before Velisa went, Velisa said, I just need to be really offline while I'm on holiday. And she's like, when you're away, I'm going to do the same for you. So no podcast stuff. And I was like, yeah. So I called her and I just said, look, I'm not in a good place. And I think I ended up crying.
You did.
Yeah. And so I'm really tired, and I won't cry now. I'll try not to. But I was really tired. And then when I went away, for the first couple of nights I was away, I woke up and I was having anxiety about work. And I just knew that things they're not normal. And the kind of work that I do, we do fractional HR, and this year I wanted to, remember I said I wanted to get to 5 people, so my team got to 4 people, but then we're at 3, and I won't, it's not worth sharing the kind of reasons why, but we're at 3 people now, so we're down on capacity, but we still have the work needs to be done, so we've had to kind of share that out. And I'm always been very cautious I don't want to overload my team. So what happens is that when the additional work comes in, even though my team are very willing and they're actually really amazing and I really appreciate them, I would never do that to them, but I would do it to myself, which is very, very, very silly. So where we do fractional work, it means that maybe I spend let's say I do 60% of my time with one company, 20% and then 20% with another company. That's 3 different companies. But nobody ever realizes 100% of my work. But it means that if I end up doing 60%, 40% and the 20% somewhere else, I'm now doing 100%, but nobody knows except me. so nobody feels it except me. And I'm the only person who has full visibility, and I'm the only person who can put in place a safeguard. But if I don't put in place the safeguards, or I let it slip, it means that I just end up working like really horrendous hours, and I end up just cutting myself really, just really thin. And that's what's been happening. And so I just knew that I was really close to burnout. And you can see it in me, like I've put on weight, like I'm someone who really enjoys being active. I enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy walking. Like I used to walk to work. Like my office is literally like a 10-minute drive, but if I walk, it's about an hour. So I walk to work and back every day. Since July, I have not walked until this week. I have not walked to work or back at all since July, because I'm like, I don't have the ability to lose that extra 2 hours in my day, even though it's something that's really good for me. I don't have the ability to do it. So I've lost like 6 to 8 hours of exercise a week, just like that. I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to do things. I show up to the podcast and my makeup's in me. Like I literally do my makeup I've done makeup in the car. Yeah. Whereas if you look at me now, I'm a babe, because I have time to do my makeup and all of that kind of stuff. So it's like I can just feel like my life is out of control. Like my flat is not as clean as I want it to be, and I'm not getting to spend as much time with like my boyfriend as I like to, and all of this kind of stuff. And it's just become so overwhelming. And so when I went away, I actually had time to like switch off. It was the first time, like I just knew I was close to like breaking point. And I said to all my clients, like, I'm offline. I've got a woman in my team, I should say, who's like, this year I hired someone. Best thing I did this year was hire someone senior. It meant that it was a big risk in terms of the salary is heavy, because she's a senior person and I want to pay her what she's due. But it also means that when I go away, she can manage things. Whereas before, actually, for the last couple of years, it's either just been me or I've had junior people that it wouldn't be fair to give that to them. But now I have someone who can reasonably cover me, and I can tell my client, if you need anything, go to this person. So that was so good. So I was able to switch off for like proper 10 days. And then now that I'm back, like things are just clearer, they're just better. I made a commitment to myself that I was going to unload any stressors. So I've spoken to all my clients since I've been back, and I said, look, I've just been so honest. I've said, this is where I was. And I've said that it means that I need to be a bit more careful, and I need to put boundaries in place with you. So if I tell you I'm doing 1 day a week, I have to do 1 day a week. If I can give you extra and there's time and I have capacity to do that, I'll let you know. But outside of that, I need to do 1 day a week. So what happens is I say to my clients, I do 2 days a week, this one 1 day a week, but then they'll have something which they think is an emergency or they think is important, but actually it can wait. But they know that I'm a helpful babe, so they can come and ask me, and I want to help them, so I do it. And it means that I'll end up doing where it's not fair to any of my clients, but because they're all doing it, it's really not. It's not as bad. Like I'm supposed to be on X client, but Y client calls me, and I have to step away from X client's work and do Y client. But because X client will do it to me when I'm at Y client, it's just getting into a bit of a muddle. Yes, yeah. So what it's meant is that I'm not delivering anywhere except to my clients. My clients are all very happy. Like I do the work. They just think I'm amazing. And where do you find the time? My personal time. It's my personal life. It's my social life. It's my well-being. Like that's where the time is coming from. So I've been doing a good job for my clients, but I haven't been doing a good job for myself. And so it's just been very overwhelming. So, and I think when running my own business, it's like I just thought about it, and I'm like, why would I do something that I don't have aspirations to be Jeff Bezos? I don't have aspirations to be Elon Musk. So it's like, if I'm running my own business, it has to work for me. It should enable me to have more flexibility, and it does to an extent, but it should enable me to have more flexibility and work in a way which is more sustainable for myself. Otherwise, let me just go and get a job. I can go and listen, I will contact the clock app. I can do ER. I can go do that. So I remember on the way back, I booked an economy ticket. Yeah, it's terrible situation. Yeah, but I booked an economy ticket, and from Vietnam. So when I was on the way out, I went to Doha. We stopped for 2 days, and then from Doha we flew to Hanoi in Vietnam. On the way back, it was just like straight stopover. So it was 8 hours into Doha, and then it was like 3 hours stopover, which is I think very long. And then it was like another 7 hours back. By the time I got to Doha, I said, nope, I can't do it. Not in Gen Pop. So I went to the upgrade desk in Doha airport, and I said, how much is it to upgrade my ticket? They told me it was $2,000. And I said fine, I'll manage an economy, because I'm like, I was expecting £500. I would have swallowed it in it. And I remember thinking, so let me get this straight. I'm working like a dog, yeah, and I'm still living a lifestyle where I can't pay 2K for a flight on the spot. If I was working like a dog and I could be like, the boundaries have been a bit, and I have been contacting you, so
you know,
yes, you know, we all know what's going on. So that's been really good now. So I've been back for a week, and this week has just been so lovely. Like I've walked to work this week, walked back from work this week, no problems. I've been to the gym. I've unpacked my suitcase, which is good because for me that suitcase can really stay there. It took me two days to unpack my suitcase, wash my clothes, all of that kind of stuff, put my clothes away, and I'm getting a puppy. Because I've been wanting a puppy for a while. I had my 3-year anniversary with my boyfriend. And I was like, this is the day. I put on my close friend's story, like, this is the day that I've been dropping little hints, but I'm going to have to sell it. And he's still not 100% sold, but only because he thinks I want to get a Cavapoo. I'm getting a Cavapoo. Okay. And he thinks that's like quite a girly dog. And I was like, that's very toxic of you. But he's going to love the dog because he loves dogs. So, yeah, I'm going to get a puppy. And also that means that I just need to be free. Like I wouldn't be able to get a puppy living how I was living before. It's just not possible. That's true. I can take my dog to work though, so it's fine. Like our office is dog friendly, so I'll take my dog to work every day. But yeah, it just wouldn't be possible. So unless I kind of change my lifestyle, which I'm committing to do, this is just week 1, then I wouldn't be able to get a puppy. And now I have a puppy. I'm gonna have to spend time with it. You have
to commit
because I have something to look after. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I've been going through, and I knew it, but I only half knew it. But in hindsight, I've really not been in a good way. So I show up to do everything, and also like there's things that I like doing. I loved recording the podcast, but because of how I was living and how I've managing my time and the way I've been working, coming to record the podcast hasn't always been as fun as I would have wanted it to be because I'm just so tired. And I show up and it's like, oh my God, I haven't had time to do my hair, haven't had time to do my nails. Like before I went on holiday, I did my hair, my nails, I did everything, removed all the hair from my body, all the things that you need to do, right? And I just felt normal again. Yeah, I felt normal. And I'm like, it's actually very important to me that I get my hair done. It's very important to me that I do my nails. It's very important to me that I have eyelashes. These are things that are actually very important to me. So not having time to do them is actually like, it has an impact on me mentally. Health, like there was a day when I woke up in the mirror, I looked in the mirror and I just saw my brother and I said, what the hell is going on here? LOL. Yeah. So my brother, people say I look like my brother, but and sometimes I can see it, but I woke up, I was like, who is that boy that looking back at me? Who is that boy looking back at me? Oh my God. So yeah, that's just I just thought it was important for me to share that because yeah, it has to be. It can't just be like coming and saying like all the boss babe stuff that I do and running my own business and stuff. Like it is literally so hard, and I've definitely made it. Like it's a challenge, but I've definitely made it harder than it needs to be by not putting those boundaries in place. Like it's a false economy, thinking that you can just work and work and work, and you know the productivity is going to be the same. And I feel my age, you know, because when I was bit younger, I really do think I had the ability to work and recover much faster, but now I just need rest. Like I need rest. I need to go to the gym. I need to walk to work. I need to play netball. I need to do all of those things because they make me feel normal. Whereas before, I feel like even if I was probably overworking, I could just bounce back. And also overworking is not aspirational. I don't aspire to it. Not. No one should aspire to it. Like it's such bad practice. Like, and I don't want to be like that. Like I actually want to practice what I preach. We'll come on the podcast and talk about, oh, it's work, it's not that deep. And it's really not. Like I believe what we're saying. But at the same way you said that you when you was at work day, it's very easy to lose sight of it yourself, even though you know what the answer is. So yeah, I just wanted to come and share that and tell you guys that I'm gonna be good now. Like I feel really good. I within myself, like I feel much better because you know sometimes you feel very stuck, but as soon as you make a commitment to do something and once you start changing something, even if you're not all the way there yet, you feel completely different. Yeah. So that's how I feel, and I just feel really happy.
That's good. For my friends that are gonna find out I've got a new job via the pod. Sorry. my bad, didn't mean to do that, but yeah, like
look after yourselves.
Yeah, like this is I like this episode. Like it's a It's a good one because you're right. I think even when we're tired and we record the pod, we try to come with a lot of positivity and, you know, act like we're all good and we're just tired. But I feel like, you know, sometimes when people do say I'm tired or I'm okay, there's actually so much more to what they're saying. And I think it's important to really listen to your body as well. Like I knew I was burnt out like at work day, but I don't think I realized how much until I got the time off work to realize that I feel different. Like I felt different. I was going back to the gym. Like I felt different. I felt like even with my son, he like obviously I'm around. But I think even he noticed that like I was around more. Like I had more energy to play. He just wants to play. That's all he wants to do. I had more energy to play and not just, you know, give him food and put him to bed and do all
look after his needs.
Yeah, exactly. Like, which I think for a bit of a time, that's all he was associating me with, is doing the very mum things, and dad was all like, you know, play and all of that stuff. So it's been nice as well to be able, like I came from work on Thursday and I still had energy to play with him, which was nice, you know. Yeah. So yeah, do look after yourselves. Like,
Who used to say that? Was it Joe Springer? Look after yourselves and each other. Is that Joe Springer? I don't care, man. You have a birthday coming up. Oh my God, you might have a birthday around this time.
With this, what
No. This episode will come out on the
it will come
the
up
9th. So it'll be the week after.
Oh, okay. No, my birthday.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The following week. Yeah. So that would be 99.
Yeah, so your episode is episode 99.
Okay.
Your birthday episode.
My birthday. If anyone wants to gift us for my
Cash
birthday, feel free to do that. Or do you know what? Because of when this episode is out.
No, it'd be too late.
You think so?
For what?
Oh, Monday?
This episode comes out on the 9th.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. Forget what I was about to say.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Well, I hope you loved it. Like, I feel like I'm doing your bit now. You do your bit.
Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
That's a wrap, guys.